Hello and welcome to Lord Fenton Gaming Reviews Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In today's review of Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition, we're going to go over everything from the music and sound, story, to anything else that is good, okay, and bad. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Divinity Original Sin 2 videos just like this. And do not forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be updated and more. So the burning question is this: is Divinity Original Sin 2 worth your time and money, or it just sucks? So I'm going to go ahead and start with the review. Let's go ahead and talk about Divinity Original Sin's 2 difficulty. It is great. I really enjoyed this game's difficulty. So the lowest one is story mode. That's like the weakest one of the game, which you have so many buffs and advantages. Foes have disadvantages. Why explorer mode's a little bit buff up from that. Classic mode's like your middle of the road, which is great and challenging. Tactician mode really brings the challenge, and they definitely brought back something from the original game, honor mode. It's like tactician mode, except for you have one life. This is what's great about this game, is difficulty. It does not hold your hand at all, and that is a very good thing. Now, let's go ahead and talk about character creation. Oh my goodness. They not only brought that back from the original game, Divinity Original Sin 1, they did some good things to it. And I'm going to say this right now. It is really neat. Now, besides making your own custom characters, you can also play origin stories. We'll touch up more on that. Still, you have to do is pick which type of preset, what stats you could definitely put in your character, what skills you want to start out with, and one talent point you get to do also. Lone Wolf's back, so is Glass Cannon. So some of your favorites from the first game is definitely back. You definitely play as male and female. And then there's even tags. Yeah, that is something new. So that's more like RP flavor, which is a good thing. Same thing with instruments. So I felt like the character creation you could go far with, and even do some wonderful builds. And I'm going to touch up about one more thing I did love the most, which is you get to play the undead. That is right. Very few games you could actually play the undead. Like, for example, World of Warcraft. This game, you could definitely play the undead. So this is like a huge step up for me, which is the character creation. Not only you could definitely create your own custom characters and respect them later on when you get to the ship, you also do origin characters. They have their own abilities to use and their talents that are really useful. And they could use the same thing with the presets. You could customize their stats, their skills, talents, and much, much more. They have their own tags too, which is a good thing. And there's so many varieties of them. You could play as Red Prince the lizard, the Sibyl the elf, Ifan the lone wolf, I call him, Beast, the dwarf that's a renegade, Losha, who is the person with voices in their head, and of course Fane. We'll leave what Fane is all about. Still, these origin characters are neat. They have their own background stories you could listen to. And great news about these origin characters too is you can recruit them in the game and do their quests, which is a very good thing. And that's what I like in RPGs like this, is characters they span upon and much, much more. So yeah, this is a good step that Larian Studios did, and I'm proud of them that they did it. Let's go ahead and touch up on the graphics. For isometric RPG game like this, oh my goodness, the detail is great. You can see the wood, you can see the grain of the wood going one direction, you can see even the nails in the boards. Larian Studios put a lot of work. Not only they did work on the surroundings and the environments, they also did a great job on the characters too. Like, for example, in Fane's mask, you see that too. Even when you zoom from far, the graphics are great. Now, playing on the PC version, which I'm benefiting the most out of it. So yeah, the graphics is a huge step up for this isometric RPG. Let's go ahead and talk about the user interface. It's nice, crisp, and clean, which is very good. You have hot bars right there. You can put skills there, potions, or anything else, even food too. As for the buttons, you could push on that very easily. You can easily access the main menu, especially on the PC version. Your inventory is really easy to handle. You can put things in bags really easily. You can also go in your skill book and your crafting and access your journal very easily. There's no going through one menu to another menu like some other games I know. So I felt like the UI was crisp and very easy to utilize. Let's go ahead and talk about the controls. They are easy for the most part, especially on the PC. In fact, it is much better on the PC than the consoles. Just click where you go, or in case of controls, just use them to move around. Real easy to interact with their environments, cast spells, and much more. So the developers did a great job with the controls. They feel fluid, and I do feel like it's the right path. Let's go ahead and talk about the load times in this game. They are absolutely wonderful, especially on the PC. The more faster your machine, obviously, the better load times it is. In fact, when the game loads up, it'll load up an actual island or something like that. For example, it'll load up Fort Joy. And when you zone in a Fort Joy cave or a palace or something like that, it'll just be very instant, just like that. And I'm going to say this right now. Yeah, that is a very good thing, and Larian Studios knocked it out of the ballpark with the load times. Now, let me tell you all about the world of Divinity Original Sin 2. Oh my goodness, it is really wonderful and great. There are conflicts within conflicts, there's even somewhat racial wars, and there's even certain factions do not like each other. You're a sorcerer, and you're trying to survive, and you're trying to be cool with the use of your swords power, and you gotta survive in this world. And I'm gonna say this right now, Larian Studios did a wonderful job of the world in this game. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the skill system. Did they improve from the first game? Absolutely. Not only you could go into one tree and max that out to 10, you could also do two trees to do that if you know what you're doing. Or better yet, split it up. For example, you have 1 point in Hydro and 1 point in Scoundrel to get Vampiric Hunger. So there's so many combinations you could do, so many builds with that, and that is a very good thing, especially in this game. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the two places I just listed, Fort Joy and, of course, Reaper's Coast. I'm going to say this right now. Larian Studios did a wonderful job of the two lands. For example, Fort Joy, yeah, you're stuck in a sorcerer prison. You have to find your way out. There's so many things you have to do there. It's a great place to start. Actually, I really enjoyed my starting out in this. After that, it is the somewhat early to mid game, which is Reaper's Coast. That was even a better place. In fact, it is the best place in the game. I had some really good times in it. Yeah, some of it at Alice's expense and more. So I felt like the two places I mentioned, they are great. I do mean they are really great, and you should experience them. Now, remember the crafting system in Divinity Original Sin 1? Well, that is back. They did some improvements to it. As always, like the first one, you could experiment. You could also find recipes in the world, which is a great thing, by the way, and make some nice stuff like potions, arrows, even certain skill books, and anything else of the matter too. What's also good about the crafting system is also making runes and then installing runes in certain weapon and armor, plus jewelry too. So yeah, the crafting system, Larian Studio did get some of that right. We'll go ahead and talk about the other parts of the crafting system later on in the review. Let me go ahead and talk about the gameplay. It is really great, really fun. In fact, Larian Studios has been mastering the isometric RPG since Divinity Original Sin 1. And let me tell you, they did a great job, and they definitely improved it from the first game to the second. They kept the shop haggling, so this way you could buy and sell, you could explore, you could steal if you want to, and anything else. So I felt like the gameplay is wonderful, and the experience is really enhanced from the first one to the second. Let's go ahead and talk about the gear and loot. It is really good, and they definitely made some major improvements from the first game. So, for example, if you want real heavy armor, then you have to get strength. If you want more of a rogue or a range, you gotta get finesse. And if you want more of the caster type like robes, yeah, you have to get intelligence. So items are based off of stats. Also, when you do certain quests, you not only get some stack rewards, you also get random ones, which is really good. So you can get a nice random, say for example, two-handed sword or a good skill book. So yeah, the loot and gear definitely improved from the first to the second game. This game improved from the first one with the voiceover, and they did add a narrator, which is a really good thing. So I'm gonna let you all listen in on this.
The altar lies in silence, glowing faintly with a familiar, comforting warmth.
Come on, let's keep moving. Well, I think I should focus on getting this demon out of my head. And of course, I think you should help me. And if we pick up a few new source tricks along the way, so be it.
Not only the voiceover draws you in the game, but the narrator draws you really deep in the game, and that's what you want in a RPG like this. I'm going to say this right now. If you thought the music and sound from Divinity Original Sin 1 was good, guess what? They did some major improvements, especially in the music department. You can hear footsteps, chatter, and the sounds. As for music, oh my goodness, it is wonderful, and it's a delight to hear. So you know what? I'm going to let you all listen in on this clip. I'm going to say right now, Larian Studios not only hit it out of the ballpark with the sound, but they did a grand slam with the music. You can listen to some great tunes, not only exploring, but also in combat too. And the combat music is the best music in the game. In other games, choices either does not matter, have little consequences, or they become useless later on. Well, guess what? Not this game. Oh yeah, some choices you make early on might either come back to haunt you or come back to help you. That's what's great about this game, is what choices you make, and even those choices do affect the ending. So yes, choice is like grand in this game, and this is what you really want in an RPG like this. You could do is just rush through any game, not doing any of the side stuff. However, in Divinity Original Sin 2, you do that, your characters are weak, and in fact, you're going to be missing so many good story elements, or better yet, or even fun gameplay that you find during the side questing or doing side activities. I'm going to say this right now, Larian put some hard work in putting in some side questing, and it is great. Even some of the side stuff you do will come back to haunt you later on, or come back to help you. So yes, this game has some great side questing and side activities you should definitely do. Now, I'm going to say this right now. This game's endings is not ad-lib. That's right, it is not. In fact, it's not like a certain game. It starts with an F, ends with a T, with the number 4 on it. In fact, these choices you do, some of the story stuff, some of the side stuff will be in the ending. So yeah, whatever choices you make through the game will definitely land in it. And I'm going to say this is what you want in an RPG like this. Not ad-lib, all different endings, so you could enjoy and have great replayability. Yes, this game has high replayability, and that's what you want in an RPG, especially with the endings. I'm going to say this right now. The gift bag system is absolutely wonderful and great. For example, you could add a respect system inside of Fort Joy instead of waiting for the ship. And there's other neat features too. You know what the best part about all this? It is free, free. That is right. Larian Studios giving us gifts And you know what? That is a very good thing from a company like this that they put in their games. I am hoping that Baldur's Gate 3 or Divinity Original Sin 3 does that in the future. Let's go ahead and talk about this game's story. It is absolutely wonderful. I got sucked right into the story, and let me explain how it goes. First of all, you're a sorcerer, and suddenly this one person comes into town ruining people's day. Thus, she gets captured. Then, of course, you get captured because you're a sorcerer. From there on, yeah, your adventure begins. There's so many mysteries, there's so many twists and turns, there's so many foes that are seen and unseen. And yeah, this game's story will not only draw you in, but it'll keep you playing for hours on end. Let's go ahead and talk about combat. It is great, fun, and wonderful. It does not hold your hand at all. Yes, you have to think on your feet. You have to think outside the box from time to time. You have to constantly change tactics. You cannot just use a same tactic and think you can survive. No, you have to change things up. You have to look around and see if your foes are stepping on certain environments. You have to look around if you're stepping on certain environments. You can also use the height to your advantage. So, for example, if you want to go high to take down foes to get more damage against them, that's good. So I'm going to say there are many layers of combat. It makes it really fun. It's a huge step up from the first game. And I'm going to say this. Larian Studios not only master combat, but they made it really fun and exciting. So yeah, when you win the battle, you really feel like you're winning it. Let's go ahead and talk about the general and mapping system. It's alright. I mean, it could be having some improvements. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's just middle of the road. Some people might not like looking for things on their own. Me, I don't mind though. That's an adventure, but still, I wish there was a little bit more improvements to the general system. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Nameless Island and the arcs. I felt like they were way too short. I mean, seriously, way too short. The Nameless Island, the altars, I wish there were a few more quests associated with them, so this way you could have some fun with it. Instead, it was like you had to get through it real quick after you even did all the side stuff and went through everything. The second half of the Nameless Island, I wish there would have been a lot more quests inside for you to explore and do. Now let's go ahead and talk about the arcs. I felt like the arcs was on crunch time. I wish there were more quests and activities you could have done inside. Still, it was a great place. I felt like it could have been more. So I felt like the last two big areas of the game dropped the ball on length. Yeah, they're fun, but the length of it was way too short for a game like this. Now, let's talk about the bugs, glitches, and crashes. Yeah, there's a few bugs here and there. There's some glitchy stuff you see once in a while, like this hanging dude will not be hanging. And then the game will crash from time to time, which does suck. Only thing I'm complaining about that's really bad about the crashing that's really awful is if you're in a combat, you're doing well, and then all of a sudden it crashes, which is unfortunate for a big game like this today. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the crafting system on the weapons and armor. In Divinity Original Sin 1, if you have blacksmithing, you can make some really nice weapons and armor that actually will get you through endgame. You could craft stuff on the weapons. Well, in this game, they went the other extreme, made it a lot weaker. I can understand you're looking for questing and stuff, but what if you need to craft something to fill in the holes, or if you need to enchant something? And this game is lacking in enchanting and weapons and armor. Besides, the rune system is nice, but still, I want more options to add something to my weapons and armor. Unfortunately, this game does not have those options. Here's my final verdict on Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. Game of the Generation with the score of 11 out of 10. Despite the little quirks this game has, like the weapons and armor crafting system, and a few leftover bugs and glitches. This game is wonderful. It is really fun to play. Combat is exciting. It makes you think outside the box. The story is wonderful with so many choices. You can do so many things in it. And best of all, you can customize your characters and your party to your needs. Well, everyone, this is it for my review of Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day or night. Please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more Divinity Original Sin 2 content like this. If you do like what you see, check out the upper right hand corner videos for my suggestion, on the lower right hand corner for a video suggestion from YouTube. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful day or night.